The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. To fall in love with God is the greatest romance, to seek Him the greatest adventure, to find Him the greatest human achievement. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are Anger and Courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are. There is no saint without a past, no sinner without a future. People travel to wonder at the height of the mountains, at the huge waves of the seas, at the long course of the rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and yet they pass by themselves without wondering. If you believe what you like in the gospel, and reject what you don't like, it is not the gospel you believe, but yourself. The measure of love is to love without measure. In order to discover the character of people, we have only to observe what they love. God has promised forgiveness to your repentance, but He has not promised tomorrow to your procrastination. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. The mind commands the body and is instantly obeyed. The mind commands itself and meets resistance. What does love look like? It has the hands to help others. It has the feet to hasten to the poor and needy. It has eyes to see misery and want. It has the ears to hear the sighs and sorrows of men. That is what love looks like. Miracles are not contrary to nature, but only contrary to what we know about nature. Faith is to believe what you do not yet see. The reward for this faith is to see what you believe. Some people, in order to discover God, read books. But there is a great book, the very appearance of created things. Look above you. Look below you. Read it. God, whom you want to discover, never wrote that book with ink. Instead, He set before your eyes the things that He had made. Can you ask for a louder voice than that? Love begins with a smile, grows with a kiss, and ends with a teardrop. God is always trying to give good things to us, but our hands are too full to receive them. How can the past and future be, when the past no longer is, and the future is not yet? As for the present, if it were always present and never moved on to become the past, it would not be time, but eternity. Understanding is the reward of faith. Therefore, seek not to understand, that you may believe, but believe that you may understand. In essentials, unity; in non-essentials, liberty; in all things, charity. Complete abstinence is easier than perfect moderation. I held my heart back from positively accepting anything, since I was afraid of another fall, and in this condition of suspense I was being all the more killed. The Bible was composed in such a way that as beginners mature, its meaning grows with them. Since you cannot do good to all, you are to pay special attention to those who, by accidents of time, or place, or circumstance, are brought into closer connection with you. There can only be two basic loves: the love of God unto the forgetfulness of self, or the love of self unto the forgetfulness and denial of God. Do you wish to rise? Begin by descending. You plan a tower that will pierce the clouds. Lay first the foundation of humility. I was in misery, and misery is the state of every soul, overcome by friendship with mortal things, and lacerated when they are lost. Then the soul becomes aware of the misery which is its actual condition even before it loses them. Pray as though everything depends on God, and work as if everything depends on you. Where your pleasure is, there is your treasure. Where your treasure, there your heart. Where your heart, there your happiness. Sin is looking for the right thing in the wrong place. Humility must accompany all our actions, must be with us everywhere, for as soon as we glory in our good works, they are of no further value to our advancement in virtue. Thus, a good man, though a slave, is free, but a wicked man, though a king, is a slave. For he serves, not one man alone, but what is worse, as many masters as he has vices. You called and shouted and burst my deafness. You flashed, shone, and scattered my blindness. You breathed odors, and I drew in breath and panted for you. I tasted, and I hunger and thirst. You touched me, and I burned for your peace. Since love grows within you, so beauty grows. For love is the beauty of the soul. Free curiosity has greater power to stimulate learning than rigorous coercion. Nevertheless, the free-ranging flux of curiosity is channeled by discipline under your law. What are kingdoms without justice? They're just gangs of bandits. He who denies the existence of God has some reason for wishing that God did not exist. We made bad use of immortality, and so ended up dying. Christ made good use of mortality, so that we might end up living. The soul is torn apart in a painful condition, as long as it prefers the eternal, because of its truth, but does not discard the temporal because of familiarity. Learn to dance, so when you get to heaven the angels know what to do with you. I was unhappy, and so is every soul unhappy which is tied to its love for mortal things. When it loses them, it is torn in pieces, and it is then that it comes to realize the unhappiness which was there even before it lost them. It's not in the book, or in the writer, that readers discern the truth of what they read. They see it in themselves, if the light of truth has penetrated their minds. There are wolves within, and there are sheep without. Heaven forbid that we should believe in such a way as not to accept or seek reasons, since we could not even believe if we did not possess rational souls. For a sentence is not complete unless each word, once its syllables have been pronounced, gives way to make room for the next. They are set up on the course of their existence, and the faster they climb towards its zenith, the more they hasten towards the point where they exist no more. Really great things, when discussed by little men, can usually make such men grow big. Charity is no substitute for justice withheld. What grace is meant to do is to help good people, not to escape their sufferings, but to bear them with a stout heart, with a fortitude that finds its strength in faith. Your best servant is the person who does not attend so much to hearing what he himself wants, as to willing what he has heard from you. God grants us not always what we ask so as to bestow something preferable. It is not that we keep his commandments first, and that then he loves, but that he loves us, and then we keep his commandments. This is that grace which is revealed to the humble, but hidden from the proud. How high a price we pay for the burden of habit. I am fitted for life here, where I do not want to be. I want to live there, but am unfit for it, and on both counts I am miserable. Pride is the beginning of sin. And what is pride, but the craving for undue exaltation? And this is undue exaltation, when the soul abandons him to whom it ought to cleave as its end, and becomes a kind of end to itself. The mind commands the body, and is instantly obeyed. The mind commands itself and meets resistance. The mind commands the hand to move, and it's so easy, that one hardly distinguishes the order from its execution. Yet mind is mind, and hand is body. The mind orders the mind to will. The recipient of the order is itself, yet it does not perform it. A person can do other things against his will, but belief is possible only in one who is willing. If you would attain to what you are not yet, you must always be displeased by what you are. For where you are pleased with yourself, there you have remained. Keep adding, keep walking, keep advancing. This joy in God is not like any pleasure found in physical or intellectual satisfaction, nor is it such as a friend experiences in the presence of a friend. But, if we are to use any such analogy, it is more like the eye rejoicing in light. Every good man resists others in those points in which he resists himself.